I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir, he's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial?
Because you're a protagonist.
He's got protagonist disorder. Appetite before murder.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What do we want to press? Sat at the table in this photograph. Shoddy Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left.
We could probably press that. Because he's supposed to have met Shoddy Smith before.
Yeah, so like
the game of poker. So when did that happen?
Right. Hold it! 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time?
That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
What is with all of these quotes, dude?
My guy, my dude. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall.
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be, if that's all that really happened.
Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time?
Why are you doing this to him?
Okay, when the trap failed, Smith is the waitress. The girl is knocked out cold.
Smith uncontrollable, so I left to call the police.
Maybe I can't remember. I'm gonna press this. I think this might be the one to press. Hold it! You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct?
Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout.
Maybe they do if you buy a new model.
Yeah.
Like, made in the last 10 years. Was anyone else on the first floor at that time?
Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone.
Okay.
Didn't he have a hat on his head?
That's right. Wonder if I should press before presenting. But you know what? Let's just present. Let's just present that picture of his head. Oh, wait. No, the picture of the head didn't have the hat on. But the first one did.
Yeah, the crime scene photo.
Okay. I'm just going to present that.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright, if I may.
Yes.
Take a look at this photograph.
we can't do that every time. Every photograph in a trial. There's going to be so many photographs.
Please look at this picture of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead.
Good point.
Justice! Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Really brand that sucker.
Like, I do have to agree with him on that one. That was a little weak.
Yeah, it was just like hey, he's wearing a hat. You can't see that he has a cut on his forehead.
Like, yeah, you have to be a little
Apollo.
bit more.
Come on.
Punch it up a little bit.
Yeah, where are those cords of fucking steel, bitch?
Put a little jazz on it.
Yeah, jazz it up. You know, make it like fancy. Maybe throw some glitter in the air. It's fun.
Give him the old razzle dazzle.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head?
Okay, this is technically, depending on the law, a crime. He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this picture.
And?
I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. And that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene.
So, Ms. Orley didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head.
I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head.
Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore?
Because your client accused your boss of murder.
Right? Okay, it's controllable, he was dead. That's when he made another phone call to Mr. Gavin.
Okay, so we have to prove
That they may have met.
we did that. We could probably
We didn't press on this one.
we did not press on that one, but I wonder. Yeah, we could press on this one.
Hold it! You had dinner with Mr. Gavin?
Yes, he dined with me at the Borscht Club quite frequently. We were enjoying our usual dinner at our usual spot as usual.
Usual.
I always eat at the table closest to the piano.
I see, where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed, the remains of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left. After that,
Okay.
5 minutes after Christoph left,
Shot failed. Smith hit the waitress. So we pressed that one. Blood streaming. We
did
presented
that one.
on that one.
we didn't press or present on this.
Yeah.
Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair.
You often call him for your sticky affairs.
I think he's
Anyway.
often already okay, and I figured Christoph's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees.
Oh, glad to hear you intend to pay.
Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved, after all.
You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high.
He's gonna get this murdered.
Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we
He's
already
lying,
did this.
expose him, blah, blah,
Please,
blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
Okay. What's Mr. Wright's fucking tell? Anyways.
I think he's a professional poker player who's never lost. I think he has control over himself here. Okay, wait. Let me just, because I don't remember quite. I'm gonna take a look at the picture. Check. Okay.
It does look like there's only food for one person there, but it could just be the angle of the photograph.
It could be, yeah. Attorney's badge. Autopsy.
Didn't he say the only thing he touched at the crime scene was the hat? But don't we have his fingerprints on the wine bottle?
Yes. You might be onto something there. The other thing I'm thinking is checking the phone records. Like, because it only says used by the defendant to call the police, so.
Yeah, they might just not be putting irrelevant. Yeah, we could check that. Yeah.
I'm just gonna check it. Like, I might get a penalty for this, but. All right, Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? Yeah, no, this is not a. It clearly contradicts the.
We've got plenty of penalty space, though.
I thought. You don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled. This is the only time they ever say overruled. Anyway.
Really?
They like never say overruled ever. Okay. We don't have that he touched the hat as part of the testimony, so we can't like debate that. So left to call the police. I don't think we pressed on this one.
We did
either.
not, and his head is
Yeah, I'm just gonna press everything.
Yeah, see if we can get something new added to it, though.
Yeah, exactly. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned. It plays my simple elegance, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was playing a card in my pocket beforehand, and then you find the aces during one of the games. Great. Yeah, there were hands, he would search right. Then he would fill them up, and he would be mad. Okay, great.
Does nobody think that they check? I would notice. I would check my pockets compulsively.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I do remember what this was trying to get at. All right. So I think that was correct.
Okay, great. I love being on the right track. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yeah, that
the card she planted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice that I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice.
The murder weapon?
Thank you. For once, Apollo catches on just as
right?
Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
I mean, probably.
Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we do have the thing. I don't know if you remember, but we can go through it.
We can look at the bottle and examine it and see if there's a card inside of it.
It's empty. It is empty. So,
Objection! Mr. Wright, if I may.
Yes?
I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here.
No?
What, Mr. Wright? Surely dot isn't all you have to say for yourself.
I can't say they know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however.
Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin, this witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies.
Finally.
I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew.
I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Okay, knock it off, parents.
Dads are fighting.
So you see me as a father figure? Sorry. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never.
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. When I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
A reason to manipulate evidence? The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I do. That reason is right here.
Your cell phone? Did he get beaten to death with a cell phone?
That night, recall that I spoke with Defense Attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation.
That would have been helpful 5 minutes ago.
Sure, you didn't lie, but you've been doing little half-truths. It's like a game of cat and mouse because you're the worst fucking person I know.
Also, do you not have a fucking, recording thing in this fucking not California? Like you need both parties' consent to record?
Actually, it really depends on the location of the phone call. If they have a reasonable assumption that it's not a private location, then yeah.
then it's legal, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, I hate this.
Hi.
I hate the cyberpunk dystopia future.
What's this?
Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Yeah, you could have done that. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
What's this? Game not going well?
Something like that.
That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good?
He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china pate?
Pate? I don't know what he's going for there, but sure. Bone china pate.
It, wasn't you, was it?
Me? Please, the cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. How did Kristoff know he was bald?
All right. Bone china plate. Oh, plate. It was supposed to be
it was
plate.
a typo.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Bone china plate.
A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but paint. No, it was paint.
Hate. Oh my god. Like, it's probably just an obscure word. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. Balding's a nice way to put that.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call.
Apollo, come on.
So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club.
Most certainly.
Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Oh, that's right!
Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. I love this song. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain to this court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as a prosecutor,
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day.
April 20th, 2:32 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3.
Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this?
This is you.
May I?
Huh?
What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
You know, this is a court case, little girl, huh?
Not with all the lying that's been going on.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is more like a fucking show than anything.
An ace. Oh, this is you.
It's fine. I deserve that.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from?
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all.
Okay.
It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood?
Yeah, there's blood in a homicide case. You're gonna have to get used to that. You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth.
Okay, but I'm like keeping this though because it's evidence.
My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
Oh shit, you're the little girl in the fucking locket. Okay, all right, everything makes sense suddenly. All right. How the fuck did you have this?
It's extremely questionable evidence discovery. Also, I really want Apollo to go get his short-term memory checked.
I know. Honey, you're a lawyer.
Honey. All right, I see this fifth ace. It's been 15 minutes, baby. Baby boy.
This blood-stained card is my trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently. But where? Where could I have seen her?
There are two men involved in this case who are of age to be dads.
I don't know anybody who could have had a daughter that looks like a magician.
One of them is blonde.
No, I don't know.
Oh my God.
That's when I made the connection. Good job, Apollo.
Literally the only thing that changed is she went from wearing pink to wearing blue.
Nope, it's a completely different person. Maybe Apollo's just face blind.
Apollo would have a really rough time with Superman comics.
Oh, God, he would. It's like, oh my God, you put glasses on. I don't know who you are. Fuck.
April 20th, 2:45 p.m., District Courtroom number 2.
Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. The witness state his name and occupation?
Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? I mean, you just literally said Christoph Gavin, defense attorney. Anyway.
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom.
Yeah,
interviewing a parrot, a metal detector on somebody's body.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah. Fine. I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. He's just like, oh no, you're crazy. He's literally gaslighting the judge.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl.
That's him. Manipulate, mansplain.
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Wright.
Is he allowed to be there?
I mean, it's a co-counsel. Pretty much anyone can stand on that side. Usually it's a small, weird girl.
Oh, great.
What do you think you're doing, Wright?
Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo?
No, because I've always been a defense attorney and I haven't been accused of murder.
Wait, was Wright a prosecutor?
No, Wright was a defense attorney.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second.
Being gay?
We're already doing that.
Yeah. I'm way ahead of you.
The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time.
That one time, being the instant he was hit. Oh.
When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have to have been at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say.
Not bad, Apollo.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
Shocked. What?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. I swear to God, if someone else fucking lies in this courtroom, I'm gonna fucking snap.
I'm taking this whole courtroom home. I'm turning this whole courtroom around.
Don't make me turn this courtroom around. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
Witness testimony that fateful night.
The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or for worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all.
So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window.
Mr. Wright?
You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo?
Why would I know? Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Get used to it, buddy.
I want the diagram of the room.
Yeah, right? Okay, returned to the club, went down to the basement, peeked down through
He's an
the
empath.
window.
That's how he sensed the rage in that man.
And I, an empath, sensed that he was going to do a murder.
I think we should press on this because I think this is how we're going to get the...
Hopefully. Hold it! The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past.
You can't see the dead body from that window.
The Black Marketeers used it, I believe. I like how you're just like on the ball. You're just like, I'm gonna know.
I'm sorry. I knew you were speaking and I still was like, no. The world needs to know that the sight lines don't add up.
Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. I, an empath,
yeah, would have. As an empath, opening the door would have upset Mr. Wright.
It would have upset Mr. Wright, and all I care about is his happiness. But clearly he's an asshole and doesn't care about mine.
So he's accusing me of a murder I definitely didn't do.
I didn't do it. Of course not. Upset Mr. Wright. Yes, what if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least.
And I don't accuse my friends of murder.
Yeah, I certainly would never accuse my dear good friend that I have dinner with weekly of murder. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. Okay. But, like, we're so close to getting this diagram. This would have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo.
Can we look at the photos, please?
Sure thing. Okay, so this is the first one. And that's the one with that Phoenix put the hat back on. So that's
Okay.
not quite that one. And it is kind of plausible that you could see it
Yeah.
from the window.
From the
Okay.
window.
But the one without the hat. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna get us what we need.
No.
Let's see. Bald head, an unconscious girl in right holding a bottle in his hand.
Holding a bottle in his hand. Wait, didn't he say he went back upstairs but didn't Wright say that there was no one upstairs when he left to go make the phone call?
Yes.
What if we press this?
This one or
No, this one.
Okay.
This one. I sensed that this was not the best place for me to be at the time.
Okay. Wouldn't it have been better to wait for the police to arrive? Remember, though, by that time I was already Wright's defense attorney. It wouldn't do for me to become part of the investigation. That makes sense. Or does it? I'm confused.
Well, what happened next?
I think I know. Okay.
Okay, yeah. You were not already part of the defensive team by that point.
Objection. Oh, okay, well, maybe not. I know what I'm trying to get at is that you can't get signal down there.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking. Can you press this?
Press this, yeah.
Yeah, because he said in the previous statement that he was already a part of the defense. Yep.
Yeah. Where were you when the phone call came? I had already left the Borscht Bowl Club by that time. On the phone, he asked me to defend him. Naturally, I was surprised. I accepted, however. I couldn't abandon him.
So kind of you.
So far, everything's okay.
Is it going to be a problem for you to cross-examine your own boss?
I'm fine. Okay, who was it that taught me never to pull punches in cross-examination? It was you, Mr. Gavin. I learned it from watching you.
Absolutely an insane delivery. Thank you.
All right. Okay. I actually don't remember. I'm gonna just press everything. That's usually my tactic. So, that man. You mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His, aura, shall we say. His vibes, even. They were fucking rancid. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that.
So then you knew the true nature of your client's job.
Of course. But I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my dear, good, sweet friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. I see. What happened then? Okay.
Can we press on that?
Yeah. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony.
There he is, the coolest defense in the West. We know and love. I'm sorry. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change.
I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours.
With friends like these, who needs enemies?
Oh my god. All right.
Press.
Did we press this one?
We did not.
Okay.
By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene?
Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. I'm a poet still, and I know it.
Oh. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? Oh,
There
the
we go.
Yeah, here we are.
Oh, never mind.
God damn it.
I don't like this man.
No, he's not good.
But he's very fun.
Oh, he is very fun. Okay, so I'm gonna just press on this one. I don't think we pressed.
Those were the only 3 at the scene of the crime?
Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I'd seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. He doesn't lie, we've established that.
I can't believe one of the people who never tells a lie is lying.
Right? Ah, yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose.
Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin.
Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary?
How can I show something I can't find myself?
Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace.
The 5th ace. Right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
We're gonna show the card, right? With the blood on it?
It's now or never.
Trying to show this card that we got handed by a weird girl in the hallway.
Yeah, totally.
This could just
Valid evidence.
be any ace of spades
Yeah,
with blood on it. This could be a random blue-backed ace of spades with blood on it. Or red-backed ace of spades.
I think you'll find this is red back.
Oh my god.
The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
All right, well, bloody ace time.
Take that! My reason is, this.
Is that an ace?
Why, it's got blood on it! Right next to the spade! Oh, I hate blood! What?
This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace?
Way to go, Judge.
Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl.
Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder. The night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. You gave a bloody card to your daughter?
Objection! No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud!
A fraud? How can you be so sure?
What?
I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Take another look at the photo and the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of blood have fallen on one of the cards?
I suppose.
The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection! Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible.
Oh?
Right! Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence.
Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. No. I want to go over...
Yeah, Chell wants to hear them now.
I want to know them right now. Perjury, is that allowed? It seems to be fine. What's important now is that I've answered your question.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been a decisive evidence, you see.
Objection! This is baseless conjecture! Baseless!
Oh, I assure you, it's quite based.
Legendary.
What?
It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth.